lot going on right now. But I want to get this input shaft put back together, or mostly put back together, just so I could begin clearing some things out off of the lift here. So let's just go ahead and begin that. Okay, so editing bill here. I'll start with, I'm not an expert at BMW motorcycles. I've done a lot of my own maintenance work over the years. I have taken a lot of pride in learning about what I'm doing and before I actually do it. This wasn't my first gearbox. It was my third actually getting into, and I got a little bit overconfident in this, so I didn't start this part of the project by refreshing my memory a little bit ahead of time, and decided to just jump right in. So I was at the peak of Mount Stupid on the Dunning-Kruger effect chart, and this was not a fun video to edit. But I figured, in all honesty, I should show that not everybody gets it right the first time. Sometimes you have to do things 2 or 3 times, maybe even more, before you get it right. So I left in some of the mistakes, and I'm calling them out along the way. So this video is really more about how to not destroy your gearbox by not paying attention. And word for the wise, do not jump into a part of the project if you're not in the right headspace to do it. Make sure that you are prepared to do the work, and that you know what you're doing. And yeah, if something's not going well, take a break, step aside, do a little bit more homework, and then see how it goes. So anyway, hope you enjoy this bumbling mess of me trying to do a gearbox. In the end, it comes out just fine, but I had to go back and give myself a bit of a rethink before it got there. Anyway, enjoy, and comment with anything you think I missed along the way. Sometimes we goof. So I'm always looking for a washer. This is my 1985 version of the bearing. I went back and looked at receipts. So I did the exact same thing. I pulled this out. I put in a taller 5th gear from Steven Rock in that. And in my receipts, I saw that I purchased a 2mm shim. Well, there's the original. I was stuck to the dang bearing. And when you know it, bonehead move. So I had this taken apart and I sent the shaft off to have it milled so that we could have a circlip installed on the end. And I also installed the taller 5th gear from Rock. Made sure to order the version with the X and got it all put together. Was beginning to put it back in the gearbox, and what I notice is it's not meshing correctly. I noticed this when it was in the gearbox. Once it was locked into place, it would have a little bit of rotation, but not a lot. And in the end, I took it apart, took it out of the gearbox rather. Took a look at this very closely, and comparing it to the gears on the original 5th gear, I'm noticing that it's not quite the same. So I went back, double checked what I ordered. I did in fact order the gear with the X on it, and but I really suspect, because of the binding, that this is a no X gear. So I ordered another one. Now, unfortunately, the X on this is stamped on the bottom. So unless, and there isn't, as I say, unless there's a stamp on the inside of the other version of the gear, I have to remove this bearing to figure out if it's in fact the incorrect gear, which is what I suspect. And so we get to take this thing back apart. Yes, I've already redone this, but I'm going to do it again. In the end, as I put this back together, I wasn't happy with the shim measurements that I got, and I'm also not happy with the shift action. So I'm going to go back through it and see if I can't get something that I'm happier with at the end of this. I might need some different shims. What I noticed that's interesting is the shims that came out of it, particularly for the input and intermediate shaft, are my measurements are coming up a little bit off based on the shims that came out of it, which is interesting because all I did with these shafts is I pulled them out and I put them back in. I didn't change them. They have the original bearings and everything. The output shaft I expected to be different, has a new bearing, put the circlip on, so that's to be expected. I've measured this about 5 or 6 times. I've tweaked a few things, and in the end, it's not quite happy. So I think what I want to do is I just want to take it all back apart, double check that I don't have any debris that's underneath one or both of these 2 shafts, and just make sure that we get it right. So time to take it back apart. Okay. That one. Okay,
Me too.
77.
On.
Off all chat. So on. Always mark any fixture that has been finally torqued, so I know that it's good to go. All right. The gearbox is sorted. I want to use something a little bigger than that.